Aquarius, welcome back, Aquarians, for your astrology that will cover between now and 2020. Okay, so keep this video, take notes if you need to, grab a pen and write it down. Please do like the video because it does help. I also do cover twin flame path, which I'm trying to push through these. I've got one more video after this, and I'll try and do the twin flame today. It's now, we're not doing too bad for time. Okay, those of you who are returning, thank you. And if you are wanting to make a booking, the link is below. I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame who is in union, and I have been for the last 6-7 months. Now, I feel for you guys. You guys are going through it, okay? You guys are really going through it, but it's not a bad thing. It feels bad, but it's not a bad thing, okay? Because you guys are changing a lot. Now, I did mention in the previous video that we were going to have a look at the Cancer and Capricorn eclipse. And you might be asking, why are we looking at it now? Because the eclipse will connect with your house of what will be changing between now and 2020. So you will be working on that. You know, we do ask, well, the eclipses have been, so, you know, it's happened. No. It doesn't work that way. Energy's fluid, you know, so it's a bit like a house of cards. You know, certain things have to be put into place so that it can proceed forward. It doesn't happen overnight. But these are the areas you're going to be covering. Now, with the Cancer energy, Aquarians, okay, it falls in your 6th house. Now, the 6th house is covering your work environment, habits, routine, and health, which is really a subject matter the Virgo moon's going to ask you to deal with by the end of the month. You know, is this a healthy environment? Do we need to change something? Do I like my job? What am I doing that's impacting my life? And, you know, being in the house of Cancer, Cancerians can be very nostalgic, but it can be a lot of reflection back. So it's what worked versus what's not working now, but we want to stay holding on to it, don't we? Because it's what we know and it feels safe. But something's shaking you up in that area. Now, the Capricorn moon has been really nice to you, you know, and this is to do with, you know, infrastructure, buildings, government bodies, your workplace, banks. It's falling in your 12th house. Now, the 12th house can be good and bad. I mean, in a spiritual sense, it can be you're really, really tapped into the matrix and you know what's going on. You're like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. Penny little, the world's falling down. But the 12th house can also be your subconscious mind, number one. So that's your crown on the 5D and further. Hidden resources. What can you do to change this? And this can be people hiding things from you or you hiding things from you. Or not knowing, and something could be right under your nose and you're not seeing it. Secrets, enemies, responsibilities, and hidden adversaries. Okay, so it can be good and it can be bad. It can also be connected to illicit affairs, but that would more be being in the 12th house of Capricorn. The energies are going to be different because it's more to do with, you know, your finances, your work, your government bodies, paradigms, marriages, contracts, all of those things I'm picking. The Leo energy will relate to you for the next, between now and the 15th, 16th, okay? But you'll also be dealing with these energies of your spirituality when it comes to what you're spiritually connected in with. And your work domain could be changing. So you could be launching something spiritual as well as using your mind in order to create something very separate to the way you have done things in the 3D, especially with the Cancer energy coming through of moving groups. Well, work environment, habits, routine, and health. It's like your career might be launching, but you're having to detach from people, places, and things and change the way you're doing things. And especially since it's like a family sign, Cancer, there may be an imbalance due to something in your life. It could be family, life, children. It could be the amount that you have on your plate and you're trying to balance things, as well as trying to keep the situation neutral and spiritual where it's a healthy domain. But that's going to be a subject matter you're going to be working on to the end of the year. Now, Leo energy for you personally is asking you to check in with yourself. to tune into yourself between the beginning of the month, which we're already for me in Perth, WA at the 7th, through to the 15th, 16th. You know, what do you feel? What's going on? And again, your subconscious mind coming up is going to assist you with these areas. And it might be what you're wanting to do in the bigger picture of life, as well as what you want to connect in with, what is working, what isn't, and what the environment is. Now, it falls in your 7th house, which the 7th house is marriage, contracts, and partnerships. So it might be you're assessing what they mean to you, what the entity of marriage means to you, what the reality of rules versus expectations versus it's just love. You know, you don't owe me anything, but you don't owe them anything. It's a mutual ground. And each person's relationship is going to be very different. There's no one set paradigm that fits all. It's a bit like Cinderella and the 3 stepsisters, right? Or is it the 2 stepsisters? I can't remember now. Now, for some reason, I'm drawn to pull different cards than the Abraham Hicks cards because I think yours is a bit more complicated. So we're going to go with that. Now, Aries falls in your 3rd house. Now, the 3rd house, again, your wounds might come back to the way you communicate, the way people talk to you. Communication also in a networking sense is going to be very beneficial, providing you take direct action. So networking to find a new job is a positive thing for you, but it's you actually looking at your belief system of what those things were, following your intuition and leading ahead, regardless of what happened in the past. Moving away from that pain body experience and attempting to have that fresh start. Now, as I mentioned in the previous videos, by the time we get to the 15th, 16th, the Aquarian moon is asking all of us collectively to see on one area of our life. Now, yes, you've got the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn. It is an eclipse season. We also have the energy of Cancer, Capricorn for you in your chart. Falls in the 6th and the 12th house of your spirituality, your subconscious mind, as well as your work environment, your habit, your routines, and your health. You know, what do you need to do to change those areas? And you're going to be working on them for the next 12 months. This could be impacted by other scenarios, but going to be addressed over the next 6 months. It's not going to happen overnight, but you're going to have the strength. And it can be that, you know, relationships, contracts, expectations, and partnerships are impacting you because you actually, again, you've got a lot going on that you might not want to deal with anymore, okay? You could be very tired to the point you just can't do it anymore. There can also be people that are unforgiving towards you, but this can be the energy you're feeling during this time and wanting to retreat away. With your wounds, though, your wounds coming up in the way you'll relate to it is from the marriage house. So the wounds are going to ask you to let go of those burdens. They're memories, though. I'm not talking about the 3D. They're old wounds of belief systems, potentially connected to mother-father relationship, other people's energies, people that are dragging you into situations. It could be friends, it can be your children. And you're looking at it and it could be making you feel a little bit vulnerable. They could be feeling vulnerable, but it's taking you back to a pain body experience, but you're wanting to free your energy from that. So if it is coming up through people, places, and things, it's healing you. But with the 7th house, you know, you're going to be looking at these things differently. Just communicate effectively with this Aries coming through. It's going to be important. It might be you're reflecting over things you said, things people said, judgments they had, the way you're being hindered by, you know, potentially your connections, your work domain, your environment. I feel you're going into, how do I put it? I see you as a caterpillar going into a cocoon. Really having massive downloads at the moment and wanting to move forward to a point where you just feel totally different. You don't want this vibration anymore. It does feel very painful, but it is temporary. Please do trust me. Now, the Aquarian moon does fall in your 1st house of self, which is interesting because it's like you're coming back to life. I'm hearing Celine Dion, coming back to life. You are tired of things being the way they were. Now, the Aries the Aries energy is helping you communicate effectively. It might be people are communicating quite toxically who you were interconnected with previously. Now, by the Aquarian moon, it's you versus others. So, and this is for everyone collectively, but this is your house we're looking at. You're going to be looking at something and making a complete cut. So something has to change. So you know that it can't stay like this forever. So if it needs to be fixed and it can be fixed, you're going to attempt to in the next, by mid-month. Also moving to the end of the month, it falls into the Virgo moon, and this is where you need to heal. Now, with the healing, let's see what comes up for you in this house. It's going to be very black and white energy by the Virgo moon, and it is a time, as I've mentioned in the previous video, of look, you felt this frequency for a long time and you're like, I've got to let this go. I need to purge this out. Some things have been holding me back. I have a lot on my plate. How do I get this balance back in my life? And I just keep seeing a circus and juggling and, you know, on a roller coaster, going up, going down, and needing some sense of balance. It's felt quite crazy. I do feel you've been quiet in your head quite a bit. But by the time you reach the Virgo moon, this is a time when we're healing. But I think it's things playing out around you over physically, and it's already things that have happened, but it's the mind space in a lot of ways that is going on. Now, you've got the 7th house coming up for the Virgo moon. Now, this is a manifestation card, really. It's very ambitious. It's very driven. And the funny thing is with Virgo moon, it's a recovery time. It's a time when we need to detox. You know, so everything we look at with the Virgo moon, it's almost like the judgment card, the Libran energy with the detached emotion. It's like a lawyer. Or the judge, rather. Instead of the judgment, weigh out the pros and cons. Yeah, okay. Then after the fact, you move into that Virgo energy. I've heard what you've said. I've assessed the facts. Now I need to make a healthy decision based on the facts. Black and white. Yes and no. That's where you're going to make a judgment. Whether it happens by September, because look at what the energy is doing with the eclipses at 6 months. Similar will the frequency occur through each moon transit with the astrology. It doesn't happen right away. Some of us can feel this astrology last month, depending on where your interconnection is to source. And I know that really does happen for me being a psychic medium. I tend to feel the vibration, purge it. Even when I'm doing readings for particular clients, I will take on their pain body experience prior, and I'm like, this client's going to be in it. I had a lady the other day, and I knew lower back and headaches. And the funny thing was, it was directly linking in with the client, those things, those pain body experiences. And I always ask that when I'm having an experience with a client's read before connecting with them. Now, 7 is a spiritual number as well. It's also to do with your finances, but 7 is also your spirituality and, you know, manifesting things in. But it's when you have that self-worth, it directly attracts to you. When you have a lower frequency energy, worst possible time you can manifest. Don't try and get yourself out of tuning into these lower frequency things, because you're going to manifest them. What if they do this? What if they do that? What if this happens? What if that happens? You are tuning in and giving it frequency. Have you ever been in a car or you've been dragging your slippers, you know, and you touch someone and you electrocute them? You're transferring frequency. So in doing that, it is part of the 7 stages of healing, right? We move it through the ego, through the heart chakra, through all those vibrations, and we see it from different perspectives. But when you're doing that, you must clear your energy. You must get a smudge stick and then tune out of that at some point, give your mind a break and do something else. Because yes, it's okay to actually tune into it, but if you're giving it an everyday attention, what you can do is your fear-based frequencies that come creeping in, which is an egoic state, is now being manifested because you're not detaching. So the sooner you can understand that, the better you will be, because what's coming by the end of the month, whatever you're seeing on the 3D that you're afraid of, correlate the difference between a good vibration and a bad vibration. And the reason I'm saying that is because there can be really nice things coming up, but then as soon as something bad's happening, it's bang, you're down. That's the problem, because if anything, it should be pole opposite. Wow, I love that vibration. And I'm sorry for my nails, they're disgusting, but it is what it is. I haven't had time, and you guys are coming first, my kings and queens, right? So you'd rather pay more love and attention to that high vibration than, oh my gosh, this person did X, Y, and Z, and they've taken me right down here again. Don't give them that power. Take it away, because that can trigger them into evolving. That's a them problem. I hope I've helped, okay? Your manifestations are coming through. Sometimes we can say, I wish that person would get their life together. As soon as you detach, the universe helps that happen. You don't have to do anything. You can explain it 100 times over. If they need to get their life together, it's within their power, but you're moving your energy into you, into your hopes and dreams, into your spirituality. 12th house, the card you got. Working hard on your spiritual gifts and you, on your higher consciousness, changing your belief systems, using the resources of all the adversity you've experienced. 12th house. Very spiritual, 12th house, if you use it right. You guys are going to be deeply intuitive this month, all the way through to August, all the way through to September, okay? The Cancer energy, you're being patient with these scenarios. Again, in the 6th house, it is to do with your work, your environment, your health, your routine. You're like, I've been patient, but you're like, you know what? Don't hold on to things that you have outgrown. If you've outgrown it and you're still doing it and trying to get the same, it's like, and this is such a bad example. It's like us foolish kids, you know, when we tamper with smoking. And you're like, oh, I got such a rush. Once you become a smoker, you ain't getting the rush. I'm a smoker and I don't promote it. Your breath smells. You have to brush your teeth. Your hair smells. Your clothing goes. But at that friggin' beginning stage, you're like, that was a buzz. It's not the same after the fact, right? And we all do change. We outgrow things. So whatever you're holding on to too dearly, like, got to keep it the same, it's making me anxious. What are the new things coming with Uranus going retrograde? What you're going to find is you're going to tune into different things that make you feel more excited. You're not going to relate to the same things, and that can feel quite scary, but you've got to trust in that process. Those of you who have liked the video, I really do appreciate it, because it does help it swirl. Now, I feel some of you might have a business venture coming up. Now, yes, it's in your 8th house. Life, death, money, legacies, rebuild, and wills, as in people who have passed over this coming to you. But it's what you want to bring to the world as well. What are you manifesting? I mean, this is a really great card. But it's in order to have these things, some things need to change. So this can be on your financial domain. This can be, what do you want to do between now and the end of your life? Do you want to make it count? Do you want to manifest good things, or do you want to live, you know, in a lower frequency way? Do you have the tools in front of you? Yes, I feel you do, because look at the card that's come out. Let's see how the males are relating to this energy, and then we shall look at the love. For those of you that are soulmate twin flames, we'll see what's happening this month. Now, yes, mid-month, it is a huge time where you potentially can have communication, and it's because it's a problem-solving point, right? I'm trying to be careful what I say, and I don't know why. And I think you need to see things through, okay? But it's a bit like Katy Perry, you know. If you watch How I Feel, she's a soulmate twin flame. Now, with her, she's gone through various stages, and from each point of consciousness, we evolve and we change, and we receive a belief system about something. And, you know, we can only ever understand these things when we've lived it. When you do reach a second paradigm or a different paradigm, you realize that if it's meant to go on forever, it's going to go on forever, but you can't hold on to it, okay? So if something needs to evolve and change, you need to trust that if it was yours, it's a bit like they say, one bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. If it's truly yours, let it go. If it comes back, it was always yours, because love is not control. Trust it. Don't get up in your fair-based body saying, oh, my God, you know, if I don't call them 100 times because they're ignoring me, maybe they've forgotten me. They've got something going on with them, and that's okay. It's not that it's right how they're relating to you, but if you continue to go down that path sometimes, what can happen is we can teach people how to treat us. Now, the males, how they're dealing with this, the Leo moon, some things are going down for Aquarian males, okay? So changes are coming. They wanted the change, and I just keep seeing the card where they're trying to get out of conflict. They've got a lot going on, a lot swirling around. They're taking their power back. They're dealing with multiple things, not one thing. Ending cycles, changing connections, breaking connections, rebuilding connections. All of these things are going on in their life, and it is potentially to do with the Cancer energy coming through. Looking at it, whether it's healthy or not. If it's not, they're going to leave it. By the Aquarian moon, interesting because it does fall in the first house for males that are Aquarians, really focused on their finances. So again, this was coming up, really reaching for the stars, not letting anything hold them back. So if people, places and things that were in their way in an obstacle sense were there, they're potentially being moved. By the end of the month with the healing, they're getting back into their own frequency, and they're really this does feel like a Virgo. And what did I say? The judge. Okay, I've assessed the facts. I'm making a decision. I'm going to be understanding and compassionate. I'm not going to be a lower frequency person, but I'm making a judgment. Self-love. The females that are Aquarian, highly intuitive. Really getting the psychic downloads, using that Capricorn frequency between now and 2020. Tune in, listen to yourself. What are you saying? What words are you repeating? What words we repeat, we manifest. And yesterday, I had been doing similar things for a week, and I was like, everything happens for a reason. What are you doing, Yildiz? Trust in the process. The 3D is our ego, because we've manifested it to understand something, right? But if in fact I do manifest, we all do it, the higher and lower, then what's occurring in my life is divinely guided. So, and I potentially manifested this to close cycles, so I'm trusting the process. So this is your intuition, okay? This is your emotions coming up. The Leo energy is asking you to have the strength to deal with them this way. Let whatever's supposed to come up, come up. It's going to give you some clarity. By the time you reach the Aquarian moon, your emotions, again, you will be in between the Cancer energy of your health, your vibration, and what you're wanting to do, but also listening to your higher consciousness. And this can be emotional and grounded. And I do feel this is very positive. You're like, right, whoever's going to be in my life needs to be balanced. But I will work on my balance. If I work on my balance, and I've said this to my twin, nobody can break what's broken. So, you know, a lot of what you do go through, if you are a twin flame or a spiritual person, what breaks you does make you, because it's like they're obstacles in your road. So once you're broken, no one can ever break you again. So like, I've been there, done that. Been there, done that. So it can't break you, but you can be reminded of it and angry and all the wounds. So it's a healing sense. It's not, because if it does happen again, you can't re-break. You're broken, but you've made peace with it, and you put the gold plate through, you know, through your soul, similar to the, you know, the Chinese style, the Japanese style. Now, by the end of the month, letting go of anything that's toxic, overcoming those temptations, not being the same energy, listening to your intuition, trusting in everything happens for a reason, changing the way you relate to all these things going on, okay? Really getting to a healthier way of being. But I feel the females are going to really struggle a bit because there can be trigger points coming up sharp and hard. But you can see the light. There is light around you, and there's things going on around you that are positive, but it's just bringing pain body experiences up. But trust your intuition, because it can be quite exhausting. It can also be for those of you separately that are twins. You might be receiving downloads from your counterpart, so you're transmuting that frequency, which isn't fun. Please get some crystals, and I will do a video on that. Now, for the romantic interests, both of you are recovering, okay? So they're needing to recover at the moment. This is the heart of the matter, recovery. A lot going on. past life scenarios. Tired from all the work you've done in the first part of the year, knowing that moving forward you need to recoup. So it might be you're craving certain food groups, that you're needing more sleep, that you're feeling fatigued. All of these things in your dream state, I feel you guys are getting particular downloads. Your foundation and it's interesting because there's red and yellow here. I'm feeling your power versus and what you're passionate about versus your foundation is being balanced right now, but it's been exhausting. They're wanting to rebuild, okay? The male energy in this connection wants to rebuild. They're doing all they can to bring things around. They're very fatigued. But I do feel they've got very strong shoulders. Now, there's two things coming through with the energy on the female side. And I do feel, I keep seeing energy of the past versus the present. Okay, and this makes complete sense for the female's energy. Overcoming temptation. Not wanting to be the same thing, but dealing with all those fights, the conflicts, the unfulfilled hopes and dreams and what potentially happened in the past versus the now. Now, this can be coming up around the Aquarian moon where you on the female side might be a bit more triggered than the male side, because the male's actually just trying to get the foundation correct, but your foundation is your spiritual foundation, okay? And that's with your 12th house being activated in the Capricorn energy. You're going to get this. Some of you might want to just get the relationship to a very spiritual connection, all right? And you're like, when are we going to get to this? But this potentially could be coming up for you where the old energy is coming in and it's triggering you. And it's very normal. It started at the beginning of the month and it's still continuing on and it's going to get heavier. But if it does, and that is happening for you, it's happening for a reason. Trust the process, because it's going to help you get rid of anything that is no longer balanced, any conversations that need to come up that might be a belief system you have, so that you can get to that healthy space of finding peace, closure, and love. And it is a huge month for heart chakra activations. Heart chakra activations. I mean, I have had so many clients say, I'm getting meds. I'm getting meds. I've had enough of this ascension. I've had enough of this energy. Amen. I feel ya. I even mark it on the calendar being a woman now. It's like, I know that time of the month's coming and I need to feel sane and it's coming, and I have to warn everyone because my psychic downloads get heavier around that time too. Yeah, and that's probably why we're craving chocolate, trying to keep the happy endorphins in the mind. My sister used to she made a funny saying up when I was younger. Whenever anyone was arguing, it was Barneys and dolphins and starfish, and she was having a real shitty day the other day, and I looked at her and I went, Barneys and dolphins and starfish, and she went, don't. And I said, sometimes even positive thinking and detachment doesn't work because it's there. But you got to laugh. You need to use comedy. Yeah, cream biscuits, Shelley. Cream biscuits. I did that to her the other day, and she goes, oh, I'm really craving one of those biscuits with the cream filling. And I went, that's what it is. Oh, I'm so nice to my tribe. Okay, any questions? My brother was addicted to the ice cream. I think it was Cold Rock Cafe, and they would have a marble block that they would put in the freezer, and they would bring it out, and they would bring out any flavoured ice cream, and you could put any lolly you wanted in it, be it chocolate sauce, marshmallows, Rocky Road. So for Christmas, I'll do that for them every year. I'll get your best vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream, and I would get it in 4 litres, and I would get lots of different chocolates and lollies, and I'd chop them up and mix it through and just give it to everyone. And that was their exciting ice cream for Christmas, New Year. Any questions? Any spiritual questions connected to the astrology? Any fear-based frequencies potentially coming up for you guys? I'm cleaning the table again for the last Zodiac sign. We're not doing too bad this morning. We're doing better than we have in 2 months. Thank you, camera. Thank you, YouTube. Yeah, a lot of it's been funny actually. From July, I kept hearing Christmas in July. And that's been coming up a lot lately as well. And I'm thinking, oh, whatever's going on in July, it's coming through and it's starting, it's amping up, you know, some of these manifestations. So we're going to do Pisces next. I'm just writing it down as I'm talking to you, so I'm ready for the next one. And then I can say I've finally completed all 12 and I can get onto the Twin Flame Collective because I want to focus on that as well. How are you, Laurie? Are you looking after yourself, lady? It's freezing up. Is that this? Is it freezing? The one thing I noticed in life is that there were times I felt a spiritual connection. And I was very scared to do the transition over of ending a cycle and starting a new one. And the worst possible thing I could have done over the years, the horrible thing is always meeting the right person at the wrong time. And it's never really the wrong time. But the healing as per se, you've got to choose whether you want to be their healer or their partner. And when you do have a romantic person, you need to be your friend, not their friend, because you're opening yourself up. You know, it's very hard. So you need to let them do a transitional state. And 9 times out of 10, what we attract, we are. You'll find you're doing a healing at the same time as well, you know, in relation to the person you're working with and then breaking up. So have faith in it, but try not to feel overprotective. Try not to take it personal. Because it will balance out and there is more time for healing, but it could be something on your side of the fence also that you're trying to heal. I hope that makes sense. The Aquarian moon. Oh, God. Pisces is going to be interesting from what I can see here. Any other questions before I rattle on? Mercury in shadow direct. Yes, this week coming, I do have to buy an internet extender. I mean, it has been better since I've moved the office around. But yes. Okay, any questions after, feel free to write them under the video. Thank you to all of you guys that if you do feel this is related to you, and you feel there's any information in here, please do click the like and comment, because it does help for other people that just scroll past videos to see whether this information is actually going to help them, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you, and I will be back.